Vanilla. This is Dominique and our host, Roxana.
Hello. Thank you for joining us on the Not Vanilla podcast, a podcast about mental health with mother and daughter duo, Roxana Feenster and Dominique Sanchez Feenster. And we're here to talk about current events, relationships, lifestyle choices that we're making all together for our mental health and wellness.
Yeah, so mental health can look different ways. We can deal with it in different ways. All of us have different mental health journeys and what we decide to do with mental health.
Yes, and one of the things that we decided to talk about today is dealing with life's disappointments. We had really been going over different scenarios of things that are going on in the culture. And one of the things that really stood out to us is when people are going through these disappointments, how it kind of plays out. And in the music industry, I think we've seen in a big way how Drake and what's the other Kendrick Lamar, and how that's playing out with their business. And it's just like a human thing, right? It doesn't matter how much money we have or how much we've achieved. Life's disappointments are just what they are, and they will affect your business, your money, if you're not dealing with it in an appropriate way.
Well, I think in that industry, it kind of benefits them when they have
right. We don't have that benefit.
Yeah, we don't have that benefit of when life disappointments, we get curve it to make it a great scandal or something like that. So it's like, how do you deal with those situations?
I think the interesting thing with Drake is that because him and Kendrick, I think they're the ones who actually make music together, right? They had certain.
I know that they are.
What's the other rapper? Because it's another rapper that he was friends with as well.
Future?
Not Future. He has dreads. I can't think of his name though.
Future?
Future has dreads too?
Yes, Future has lots. Yes.
Wasn't talking about him though. It'll come to me. But they've actually written songs together, and just to think about the fact that
you're talking about J. Cole.
J. Cole, like you're making music together, and now you're making music against each other, and just how Drake took his disappointments, J. Cole took his disappointments. They made separate kind of diss tracks, and just trying to think and unravel what that's about. We could probably never know, but like in real time for us when we're going through disappointments, we kind of have to have that same attitude, kind of making lemonade out of lemons when life is throwing them at you, because you have no choice. Like he had no choice that, or maybe he did something, had to have been something awful enough for them to break up, but just going through that and deciding that, okay, I'm going to lean into my mistake and make something good out of it.
Well, no, I think they get disappointed a lot, and everyone gets disappointed. But I think you get disappointed when you have a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
That's where disappointment roots from, expectations, what you expect out of something. And that's why you kind of want to manage your expectations sometimes.
Yeah, at all times.
And manage your emotions and stay in control of that, because I feel like a lot of things can do that, like anything. But I feel like that's why I stopped like getting all the new phones and stuff, because you have this expectation that it's going to be the best.
We just talked about that, yeah.
And it's going to do this, and this, and then the battery died
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would say so. It's like it's with everything, and I just really started realizing you have to just enjoy what it is. And I think
where you get the new microphone.
Yeah, like
it doesn't record or whatever it is.
One person that I think I like how she did it, even though I haven't been to her concert or anything yet, Meg Thee Stallion, I feel like she's taken all of the things that has disappointed her and just kind of shined it back.
Yeah.
And stood strong on those things. And as you can see, I got on my Nicki. I feel like Nicki does that too. And that's why I like the women rap industry and how they are standing against all the disappointments. I think that's revolutionary. And even though they're like arguing between each other because they have disappointments within each other, but it's like together as a whole, I really can't expect y'all to all get along, because really what I'm expecting is us to just move forward as a movement and revolutionary. And
but they are people. So they're living it, and we're looking at it as it's revolutionary that 2 Black artists are rising up, or Black women are rising up as rappers, but they're just like, this is life, and this person disappointed me this way, or why are you talking about me this way? And it's like,
and that's the expectation without realizing the other expectations.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you have to manage your expectations. We don't know them from Adam or Eve.
Yeah.
I don't really have no expectations. They could have been Billy and Joe doing it. I really don't care. It was the mission and the revolution towards what it is that they represent and what they're doing. And they don't even realize that.
They don't realize
so
that. Definitely. How can you? Because you're making history now by living. I'm making history. But it's like we don't know that because we're in the thick of doing it.
And like we just celebrated Juneteenth, and 4th of July is coming up. And I was going to at first be like, I don't really celebrate 4th of July, but I do want to still respect 4th of July for what it was for the people that did fight for that time when we needed them. Yeah. Even though now it's not the same. And I don't think that that's what they expected. Oh, now Black people don't celebrate 4th of July. But it's not that. And I don't think that it should be like that or anything. Yeah. I'm going to celebrate it in a different way. I want Juneteenth to be just as big as 4th of July. Not us discrediting either one, even though they both mean different things. But it's just like they're both, the expectation of both of them now have changed.
Yeah, and that whole idea of, I think, generalizing what certain holidays meant or where they started, you have to actually be educated and know. Like, you have gone to several different history classes, you've done African American history, so you know behind it, like, oh, that wasn't just this blanket freedom for all lovey-dovey kind of thing. It was like blood, sweat, tears to have that actualized and that everybody knew they were free.
Yeah. I think that it is still like history and misconceptions, and again, the expectations and the disappointments. Everyone's not going to have the same education as you or the same knowledges that you have. So it's like, I don't get disappointed when it's like, oh, I don't want it. Everyone celebrates and internalizes stuff different. Yeah. So it's like, yes, 4th of July wasn't our Freedom Day, but it still were people of our color, people that were fighting for our rights in that time period. Yeah. So it's like, you still have to respect that day. I still respect that day for what it was as well. Even though we all were free, that is still a powerful day because the slaves that were there fighting on the Civil War front, like, they thought and believed that that's what they were fighting for down there. So, you just got to, I just want to give my respect to that. That we had our Juneteenth, but 4th of July is coming up too. And I do want Juneteenth to just be just as big as 4th of July. Fireworks and everything. And I feel like this year it kind of did give that essence because we got off federal holiday and everything, but both days are just.
And we tried to come together and make it like a cookout, but it wasn't the middle of the day.
We had a craft feast. I feel like it was like more down to the essence because you're creating, you're creating your own what it means to you. Because we didn't do the traditions of 4th of July, which is red, white, and blue, star, spangled. We didn't do the tradition of that. We were like, well, what do we like to do as family? Right. We like to eat crab.
And just be together, right?
Be in the sun, drink our beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not beer. I drink cider, but
cider. Yeah, I do. But see, if I'm eating crabs, I don't necessarily want wine. So I think I just was like seltzer water.
Well, remember we did for the 4th, not for Juneteenth, and wasn't around Father's Day. We had Father's Day stuff for the men that were there, and we had like buckets, like it was like red Solo cups that they were using, and then we put their names on it with their favorite beer and stuff. So you just do your own.
But crabs and beer go together. So. just a great expectation.
And cider. Like I said, I don't do beer, but the cider and beer.
She loves her
Because you
cider.
flavor seafood with it.
Yeah.
That's the Maryland thing. I don't know where everyone's feeling.
Shout out to Maryland crabs, blue crabs.
And
we had a good time, and I think the thing with 4th of July that I think people forget is there were Black soldiers who put their life on the line for our independence as a nation, even though they weren't free.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We have to respect that day for those people as well, because that's what they believe they were fighting for. And they did. And they are our history too. I'm not gonna act like what that wasn't powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
I'm not going to say, oh, no, that's not our day. Juneteenth is just our day. No, both of them are our days that we fought to get here so that we could talk freely, that we could be freely.
Just talk and have
I was saying so that we could talk freely and be freely. So, I was going to say, I respect both of them.
So, your grandmother, that was one of the things. My family is from Panama City, Panama. My mom and my dad, but I was born here. I'm an American citizen. I was born here. But one of the things that when you're not born in this country, you really do appreciate being a citizen. And when she went through citizenship, she was so happy with her little booklet, learning the Constitution. And it was like you do get teary-eyed when you're there with the judge and people are getting sworn in, because they appreciate the freedom to come here and work, the freedom to come here and have your kids go to school. That was her dream. So I think we, even present day people, don't totally understand the ideas of freedom like other countries have.
Yeah. I forget what, I didn't forget, but I think I'm going to be misspeaking or missing. You're a first generation American. That's what she's saying from her family. You're a first generation American.
Yeah.
Or a first generation Afro-Latina American.
Yeah. And then my sister,
Panamanian American. You're the first generation.
Jesse is the first generation on her dad's side too, because he was from Jamaica. So it's like our ideas of freedom and education.
Yeah, and I'm the daughter of the first generation. So some of the things that I don't identify with my friends sometimes is a lot of things because of how I conceptualize things.
Yeah.
Like it was like, no, this is like, this is
we're in the studio.
We're in the studio.
And we saw one of our friends. We got excited.
But this is like, very important to work hard, to be determined.
Yeah.
All of those things. Like actually, I like traveling, but it's like, no, we're in the greatest place. Like that's how I feel and have internalized a lot of my life. Like, this is a great place, but it's a reason.
Yeah.
It's a reason why they told me like X, Y, and Z, like to do this way. And I kind of just followed after that. And then after I traveled and seen other different places.
Yeah, and which are beautiful, but
they are beautiful, but I was like, that is why she wanted to come here, and she did love it. My grandmother loves America. She loves Panama too, but she very much brought tears to her eyes, very teary-eyed, the opportunities that are costed here. And I don't think I think some people do, but a lot of people don't realize how blessed we are.
How blessed we are.
Because I live a Starbucks. I live. Actually, I shouldn't say it.
Oh,
I love my cat.
We're not gonna cut it out. We love the freedom of the story.
My grandmother, I remember she used to always ask me for water.
And beyond water.
And she always asked me for water. And I'm like, Grandma, you're not even saying the water right. I don't know what you're talking about. I went to Jamaica, y'all.
I want some water.
And I was ignorant. So that's why it's like I had to really think back of all the things that she told me.
But she
remember and internalize.
Part Jamaican, that's why.
Remember, so so that I don't forget my history, and I don't feel like I feel like I hold on to everything, and that's why But just I think, if anything, don't be disappointed in the people that you see today doing whatever it is that they're doing. You don't know their history. You don't know their history or where they came from. Or what their lineage has fought for them to be afforded those liberties.
Or what they didn't understand in their lineage is that.
And that's to all of us. That is to all of us. I can't stand that when another person is judging the other person. It's like, oh, they acting like this, they're this. How do you know?
Yeah, it's our frame of reference.
Yeah, like how do you know what they internally?
Because some people don't know where they came from.
Right. I was like, when could you ever know? Because a lot of people's misconceptions about me is that I have a bad attitude, that I'm this, and I'm that. You have no idea the things. My last name is ethnic, and then I don't look the ethnicity of my last name, and I'm an African American. So you can only imagine the atrocious things people say and the looks that I get and how people treat me. And then for another African American woman to say these things to me as if I have a bad attitude, when that's not it. It's actually, I'm tired of being judged by people of my same skin color and by other people not the same skin color as me. So those are hard things, and I'm still dealing with those things. It's very hard. I just wanted to say that, like, I appreciate Juneteenth and 4th of July and Afro-Latina and Panama Independence Day, because that's what makes us who we are. Yeah. And us to be able to speak here.
And I think a lot of times when we're talking about those kind of disappointments, it's like someone doesn't know who you are. So if they're making fun of your name, they're making fun of someone else, a different ethnicity, and you're like, no, because they don't know that you are who they're making fun of. It's kind of like, wow, I'm really disappointed that this educated person with power has made fun of my name, has made disparaging comments about a person's character just from their ethnicity. It's just like, but okay, now I have to take time as a hurt person to educate you, which is annoying. And that's what I'm saying.
They didn't disappoint me, but I have to manage my expectations, because I can only imagine what my grandmother had to go through, because she didn't look like me and she didn't speak like me or act like me. Yeah. So I know that she, I have to be more patient, because I know it was harder. Yeah. So it's hard though. People are crazy, but not crazy, but people just have to manage their expectation and their mental health, because I know that's how I can come off too. And I have to manage my expectations of people, and it'd be hard. But most of the time I show compassion, because I know that you simply don't. Yeah. It's clear that you don't. Like, it's clear that you don't. And I don't know everything either. And so that's why I have to.
And I think the workplace, what makes it different with that is not only is it could be your boss that's saying these things, you know what I'm saying? Or a coworker, you got to see these people every day. So it's,
or the customers.
Or the customer that you might see them reoccurring.
If anything, I'm talking to you customers. Y'all need to
get it together.
Child, be a good customer.
Because yes, you're having a day, but it's a lot of y'all coming in having a day with the people that are just trying to make a living, and that's why it's hard. That's why the service is low. Y'all done ran away all the good workers.
The full circle of managing expectations. Are the customers always right?
No, not all the time.
Depends on the business.
Okay, like what, a spa business? Because then you're going there for your comfort.
Or like physical therapy, like, are you helping me the way I need to be helped? It's a whole bunch
but that's also, are you putting in the work? Because I'm just saying, I went to physical therapy. Shout out to my physical therapist, Nate and Lauren. I love them. I had foot surgery. I did not rush the process. I went to them for what, like 3 months? And look at me now. I'm jumping around on my foot. I did what they told me to do. I didn't do more than I was supposed to do ahead of time. And it made me get healed, because now I'm on my Peloton. Now I'm swimming. Now I'm back to body pump.
To manage disappointment and expectation, like, I wasn't disappointed, but I was definitely scared to see my mom like that. It was a real thing to see your parents not be able to do things.
Not able to walk, breaking out in the sweat just to get out the bed. That's the best exercise.
I didn't think she was going to be able to walk and do the things that she was going to be able to do again, y'all. Like, it was like, dang, I hope I could only hope that this doctor was right and that he did not mess her up for life because she was limping around. I was like, dang, like how long is this gonna take? And just one day, 1 week, she was walking on the beach, and I was like, "Are you okay? You're fine." And
it would take me forever just to do a mile,
slowly but surely.
But I had to keep doing
slowly but surely
because the work in.
We was just at the pool the other day, and I was like, "Oh, you're normal now. You're not normal, but you're back to your full range of capacity." And I don't even think I realized when it went like that, but because I had got used to her being able to, limping around and stuff. But now she's back to normal. It's like, oh, you do it. It's like a constant thing.
Yeah.
It's happening right in front of your eyes.
It's little bit by little bit being frustrated. Then it's like,
eyes.
oh, okay, I got to remember I'm starting from scratch. Because I think a lot of times what made me get the surgery was not being able to work out and loving to work out and like, okay, I can't keep taking 6 months off. This amount of time, I was like, okay, got to do the work. But it's like managing my expectations. I had a great doctor who was like, it might be a year before you can get into that Peloton class, but you'll be able to do it because people did marathon. He was never negative to me. He was like, if you really want to do it, you just have to put the work in, Miss Feimster. You're going to. And I appreciated that because he didn't make it seem like, oh, well, in 3 months, you're going to be back to yourself.
And I think that was up to you and what you expected.
Girl, I wanted to get back to my stuff.
Yeah, what you expected out of it. Some people, they only expected this walking.
Right.
Some people only expected this running. You were like, I want to do everything in the full capacity that I was doing it before. And that was my expectation too. Because I was looking for like,
I was never the fastest anything, but also
she was always driven. Always could do
wanting to wear my heels or not, and I don't even wear heels. My platforms or whatever. I got my heels today. Got them in the car, but I'm able to wear them. For the birthday party we went to, we all had platforms on. I walked the best. Lulu couldn't keep up. You were fine, but I was like,
"What are you saying? When Nikki got there?"
No, when I had my platforms for the birthday brunch we did.
Oh yeah.
I was like, look at me, y'all prancing around. I'm so happy. I was so happy.
So that's why it's important to manage your expectations because disappointments will happen every day, all the time, constantly. But if you manage your expectations out of it, you can turn it around into different things. And like I said, I think Megan, like, she's probably like the queen.
She's gone through a lot of into what older people go through. Your parent dying, your mom, your grandmother, those people that are close that are always supporting you, your friends turning on. She had a lot happen at one time. That's like a lot.
Sha'Carri Richardson as well.
Yeah. And her mom dying, then
Sha'Carri is powerful as well because Sha'Carri is like, they didn't think she was going to be able to get her spot.
She wasn't going, but she did.
They didn't think she was going to be just as great.
We so happy.
Yeah, I was like, Sha'Carri.
I just love her.
I see Sha'Carri. And the Sha'Carri, I feel like you see me. And thanks for working that hard to get back to where you was at. Yeah. Like, hard. And that's what it takes when you're disappointed. Yeah. When you're disappointed in yourself.
And shaking it off, right? Not letting that stay on you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when we're outside of our destiny, or it's not really outside of your destiny, that's part of your destiny. That's part of your, So when you're in that, you have to like shake off what people are saying. Oh, you're never going to do it again. You're not that great anyway. You look at how you messed up because everyone's going to mess up. Everyone's gonna mess up. Mm-hmm. So it's like really staying on track, staying on your course, and not being wavered. That in your mind you saw that this is where you're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be at the Olympics, and I'm gonna keep going. And I don't care what you say about me. And really, I'm sure she had to leave some friends behind because how did I get there when I don't have the right people that are supporting me to be like, no, don't do this. No, you know you got to do X, Y, and Z.
I'm about to go deeper.
Uh-oh.
Because sometimes it's not other people or your environment, but it's you.
It's you.
Sha'Carri is sometimes you're the person that got yourself there because you are the greatness. So you're the person that got yourself there, right? And then something happened. You were disappointed. Something traumatic happened.
Yeah.
And so you try to heal yourself through that disappointment. because you didn't see things clearly. Now you're more disappointment in yourself because you may have made a bad decision because you are human. That's forgiving yourself and identifying with yourself and learning around better habits, because really what happened was she passed away, or her grandmother, her mother passed away. She got upset, sad, used something.
Yeah.
But that's what people do, right? We drink, we smoke,
we eat a lot of junk food. Right, she just wasn't able to do that at that time. It was an athlete,
right? Because she was an athlete, because she was competing for the Olympics. That's why it was so wrong. But other than that, that's what
it's not abnormal. It's not.
Right. It wasn't an abnormal thing that she did. It was because she was on the spotlight,
right?
And then it was being disappointed in herself. But to come out of that disappointment of yourself and other things, because you are the person that puts yourself in that situation. And to still drive other than the external factors, that's a great being. Like, you are a great being. So, and you completed your purpose. So it's like, now you know how to navigate through great disappointment and not to disappoint yourself either, to make good decisions in disappointment.
And you need the disappointment. You need that.
Yeah. Learn from her and her situation, and see in her situation that, yes, bad things can happen. Yes, you can even make the bad decisions. And the bad things happening and make it worse.
Yeah.
Let's learn. Let's see this and do better. And I'm glad how everyone rallied behind her and did not let her get left out. Like, something traumatic happened to her, just like Meg. Something traumatic had happened to her.
Yeah.
So it's like the decisions that they make, yes, they were their own, but it's like that would been everyone. Like, it's like we have to show compassion. You have to manage our expectations of these human beings. Like, manage your expectations of people. And let's go back to the clients. Manage your expectations.
She perfect.
Customers, manage your expectations.
Yeah.
Can you do your hair in about 2 hours? Hair down your back? Can you?
I actually don't have any hair, for those listeners.
Can you make a steak to perfection in a matter of 2 minutes?
A steak, yes, right?
Can you? No, I'm just saying, like, can you do the things that you're expecting of other people?
I'm answering your question.
Can you complete a last set in about an hour? Can you?
Yeah.
So let's just show compassion and act like we are all.
Yeah.
You know, and that's with any job, you know. Do you know how to slake the toilet? I do, but I'm just saying, like, don't yell at the plumber.
Right.
For taking so long. You know, it could be anything. That's all I'm saying. Just say anything. Manage our expectations. That's the way.
Bringing it back around to Meg, I was going to say people expect, like, when you're going through grief, it's going to be a certain amount of time. Even the person going through it, a month, 2 months, at the most 6 months, you'll be affected. Well, what if you just start acting affected at 6 months? Like, we have these ideas of grief, of trauma that is just not, is definitely individualized for each person. So I think even when we say Sha'Carri was actually an amazing example of the bounce back, because
I think they're both much like warriors.
Because you don't know
the way that you are able to, it's warrior-like.
They're still processing through their grief. They're still,
it was like a mental of, nope, I still got to do this, and this.
Right.
This. They did not take like years.
Right.
It's not like it was like a year or two. No, they went back to work, back to rebuilding.
It's amazing.
It's very It's like militant. It's like complete.
And that's probably part of their healing. I'm only saying that because in society, we really do have these ideas of how long it should take you to get over stuff, how long it takes you to get used to doing a job, a task. And that is definitely all individual because of what that person is learning and matriculating through at that time. And so I think one of the things with turning the disappointments into something good is knowing that you have to go through that process. It's a humbling process that we all have to go through. If we don't go through it, we're not going to get to that next step and be proficient for if something else happens.
Simply or not.
You just won't be, you know? And I think probably it has to be every great person has gone through these things, and that's what has made them get as far as they have.
I mean, that is the like David Goliath, like how you, like you said, make it to the other side. Because your goal's right here, you're right here, your goal's right there, and then it's the obstacles that it takes to get there. Are you going to let the obstacles defeat you?
They're young, so that's only one leg of their going with the relay.
Depending on what they're
right. That's only one leg of their race. Because Dominique used to run track.
It's 4 legs.
It's 4 legs to the race.
Anyone can fuck up. Anybody can fuck up the race.
Don't drop the baton.
Don't drop the baton.
Just but if you do, go back, pick it up.
It was rare that my team ever acted up. Actually, it was one time.
Yes, that y'all forgot the baton. No,
and
remember? Officer Ray was like, y'all forgot the baton, so they were just running and gave each other 5. That was
we won, but
they got the
good qualified. So,
oh man, it was
that's
actually on the track.
In the time, and you know what's funny? In those times, it was so hard.
Yeah.
Or something, or you didn't want to do it. But looking back and looking at the medals and the awards and the memories that you have,
going to practice.
Yes, I appreciate
eating
that
good.
I stuck it through, that I did that, because now I have the memories. Now I have a,
and I think that's what helps you when you're going through hard stuff.
Like I've been through hard. Not that I've been through harder, but it's like I know
I've done
how
hard things.
Yes, I know how to do hard things, and that's why parents be like, "Oh, stick it out." They may not want to do it, but that's why you do it, because it's like, I can do hard things.
Right.
Just like and that wasn't the hardest thing I've done. The track was now fun memory. And just like the marching band at one point in time. The marching band at one point in time was a hard thing for me. But now looking back, it is a fond memory. Like, I stuck it through and I was able to do that. Like, so, and even now I'm dealing with things, but it's like, I don't know what it will look like, but I know that I am able to go through hard things. And like, just gonna find new goals. Like you're gonna find new goals, and you're gonna be and that's how you're able.
Because do I even want to do this? I think the disappointment makes you be like, do I even want to still do this? How much do I really want to put in? Or no?
No, I think no. I think that is like the constant question of asking yourself. That's why it's like, do you want to give up on what it is that you said you wanted to do, or are you going to continue on, even in the disappointment?
Yeah.
And manage your expectation for different, because you're disappointed now. The expectation that you thought is not there.
It's not there.
It's not there. So it's like, okay, now what? And that's what I'm saying with mine of managing my expectations. I like to find new goals around it. So, okay, now I'm doing this. Now that it didn't do this, now maybe we could do something like this.
Right.
Like that. Because just life just be like every day. It's like something. Every day it's like something that you just didn't even
expect to happen.
Be like, what? Exactly, using that word again, expect. Like it's something you didn't expect to happen. So
I think I was laughing at what you told me the other day. We had both got up early at like 5:00. I don't even know why you were up at 5, but we both got up early. The dog crapped the cage, so I'm cleaning it up, fussing and cussing in the corner. And Dominique is like, Mom, what are you doing? And she's like, yeah, that's why I don't wake up early, because you get up early, and the earlier you wake up, the more stuff come up to fruition for you to fix or address. And I think that's true. It's just like every day we have to just wake up with the expectation of no expectation. Like,
I can't remember
things are going to come up.
Taught me that or told me that, but it was like the earlier you wake up, the more daylight hours you have to deal with stuff. Like, not to say, just sleep all day.
And I totally got it, though. It's like, what are you doing?
You're just going to start earlier.
As humans, I think we just have this thing of, we're going to get shit done. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this.
No, that's what happened. Her and Laura were like, they're going to do this and start waking up early. I was like, why? Why would you want your day to start early? I get it. I get what they're saying. But it's like, for me, it's like, I don't want the day to continue. That's a long day.
It is.
That's a long day. But manage your expectations. Manage your day and be in control. Be in control of your morning and your day.
Yeah. And a lot of times I feel like I'm not in control. Because I used to work for someone, and she'd always be like, no, I got to control my day. I can't let the day control me. Like, I've got to walk the dog, not the dog walking me. Mm-hmm. And she taught me that. And I think a lot of days the dog is walking me. I'm just getting pulled. And that was frustrating for me that morning, that, oh my God, I can wake up early. Still didn't get on my Peloton, still didn't do my journaling. So at this point, I have to decide what's the most important to still get done in the morning without overwhelming myself and being negative, because I don't want to be like that every day at the start of my day.
So what I found helpful to do things that I said that I wanted to do, I do like a training period. I'll introduce the new thing into my life. So I want to start waking up early. And that's why I stopped waking up early. I wasn't doing anything in the time that I was waking up early.
Right.
Like, if you wake up early and you're able to execute the things that you said that you wanted to do in the morning, then okay. You wake up early, you brush your teeth, you do your shower. Now you said you wanted to read your book for an hour, but if you find yourself not reading your book for an hour and doing other things
I'm still getting up early
that you said that you didn't want to do, and you getting up early, then that's not a good training. It's not fitting in how you needed it to fit.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I introduce it first as a training. Like, am I even able to do this? Am I able to do what it said I wanted to do? How does this actually look?
Right.
And then I work from there. Like, now I read my book when I do have that downtime to do it. Like,
right.
When I'm just chilling, sitting at the pool, or when I'm on break at work, like stuff like that. You find and train your life how you want it to be. And that's with anything. And I told them that about these dang dogs. I told them to train the dog.
Right.
That's how
the dogs are untrainable.
That's how your dog does what you like for your dog to do.
Yeah.
You have to train it and tell it first what you want it to do. You have to train it.
Okay. Our dog is like 100 years old.
It doesn't just start doing it. You have to be like, this is what I want you to do. Just the way I want you to do it.
You know what I just thought about? I'm literally letting the dog walk me every morning.
You see what I'm saying? You have to train. You have to do it how you want it to be. So, hey.
Hi, we're also live. Hi, Ernest. We are going to be sending our our podcast in to our radio this week. We are so excited to be started on the Leo Network online radio. So shout out to Mr. Ernest. Thank you for the opportunity.
26.6, right? Tell us how to say it. You need to send us our intro. Yeah. Yes. We're excited to have our different other colleagues that are going to be on the station. I feel like we have like a whole family now, because we started off like this, and now we're all going to be on a station. Actually, people have been asking me about it. Yeah, so I'm like, I tag station. I was like, we're on an online station and stuff, but this is just the beginning, and that's why you have to manage your expectations and disappointments. We don't know what that's going to look like, but I've trained my mind, and if you're powerful on how to train your mind to do those things, it can come out a whole bunch of different ways. Yeah. Those are the expectations that I see in my head. And then also the disappointments. I can see different ways as well. But that's okay as long as you can manage that and see that. Also, I want to say, don't sit there and relive things twice. Don't stress yourself out and be like, all of these things can happen before they happen, because then you're reliving your horrors twice. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying, manage your expectations, manage your disappointments. That's all. And it's about training your mind and training your life.
And I think that's funny that we switched to that as a disappointment. I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. I'm going to bring it up. We had a disappointment with our episode. We went to edit it, and it was no sound, you guys. And I didn't tell you this, but I had a whole crying breakdown about it. Because it was like, I had expected to do certain things, be able to push out our content. And when that happened, I felt bad because I had already procrastinated. It was like a series of things that I did not do the way that I had expected to do because of whatever. And I think saying that out loud is a good point, that we're going to have expectations with the episode. And or upcoming episodes, and we just have to know that not everything isn't going to be perfect, but it is going to be something. We don't know what that something is.
Tell them how I reacted when you told me.
Oh, well, we just got to read to do it. And I was like,
she thought that I was going to be upset. And that's why you have to manage your expectations, because I was upset, but it was like, I mean, well, something worse could have happened. So I was like, I'm not that upset. I mean, because we were already fiddling with it before we had started. So it was like, okay. Like, and that's why I'm saying you have to be strong-minded in managing your expectations and disappointment.
Yeah.
She was very distraught and upset. And I was like, I mean, we're just going to re-record it. And I'm just going to remember most of the things that I had said the first time. Even though it was very different. Y'all got a very different side. And I'm going to give that side to y'all. Like, I'm going to give y'all what we had the first time. But we were talking about disappointments and expectations, but it was a very different conversation. But it's okay. And that's why I think that it's, like, that was probably the lesson as well. Like, that was a very good example of it. I was like, well, it's okay. I was like, that's okay. We're just going to re-record it. But yeah, we had recorded originally on Juneteenth, and we did like it. It was a good.
I thought it was great.
It was a good episode. Yeah, I would say it was a good episode. We had recorded it right before the crab feast, but I think this one is just as powerful.
We're in the studio this time.
Yeah, awesome. Studio this time. I love being in our studio.
Yeah,
because it's not really that many distractions. Like, it's
hardly any.
Yeah, it's no distractions. I can hear myself. I can see clearly. I just feel like this is our mode when we're here. We're definitely more
focused.
Yeah, we're gonna get more signs and stuff, and we're gonna get like our little trinkets and things that make it more not vanilla when you come here. But as you can see, the top corner, the not vanilla. We're gonna have our not vanilla podcast right there. So we're gonna get more into it and more into the things that we're able to do and bring you guys, edit a few things, manage your expectation.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all. That's all we can do. Manage your expectation things.
And more. So I know we only have a little bit left, and I wanted to switch gears a little bit to our current events. I know that we've been going back and forth a little bit about some of the topics that we wanted to talk about, but just in that theme of freedom, I just wanted to also make sure that people are watching the debates. We just had a presidential debate last night. Make sure you're watching so that you can have the most educated choice, because, I think, how can you make a good decision if you don't know any of the things? So we got to make sure that we're really making ourselves aware and educated of the things that are, first of all, being your own advocate, finding out those things, your local government stuff, leaders, what are some of the things that can improve for you and your community, and how different leadership and your voice plays into that. That was all I was going to say about that. I think you thought I was going to go into a deep dive. No, just making sure that you're educated, being a good advocate for yourself. One of the things that we've done together is do different community events. So being out there in the community, literally, you see a lot of the disparities. I had an outreach event a couple weeks ago, and an elderly person had passed out, y'all. It took 20 minutes for the ambulance to come because of where we were. And so that just made me say, I'm going to get on and write a little letter to my leadership in that area. That's ridiculous. Even if someone is a drug addict, which she wasn't, that was a long time. And thank God I was with nurses. Shout out to nurses. I love y'all. The nurses that I was working with knew exactly what to do. He was on it. And I think the ambulance, who knew? Not the ambulance. The ambulance didn't come until 20 minutes. The firemen, they did IVs, everything. And it was life-saving for her. So I just really think we need to be advocate, make sure that when we're seeing these things out in the community, we just don't sit silent, because that's somebody's mom, that's somebody's sister.
So this is so funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's like, in the whole conversation of managing the expectations and stuff. You would expect and think that people know how to swim when you're around them. People don't know how to swim. People don't be knowing CPR. I'm a person that is trained.
We know CPR and first aid, and I was still freaked out,
but
though.
not a lot of people do. So I feel like
we got to make sure.
Make sure that you know the emergency routes in places. You know where certain stuff is. You know how to contact, and you know how to stay calm in those situations. And
staying calm goes a long way.
Yeah, because some people are like, well, don't they know how to? Some people don't. Yeah, and some people were never trained to do stuff like that. So, because I think I've been just very shocked at how many people have been drowning this season, and it's like, people really don't know how to swim, and I need everyone to start learning how to swim and get your children in the swim, because if you think that is that is a survival skill. It's a survival skill. Like that is a survival skill. Swimming. Yeah. And CPR. Yeah. I thought that it was apparent when we were younger. Like first aid things, but just first aid and other things, but first aid, CPR, and swimming are survival techniques. Yeah.
And we take it for granted, and
you take it for granted.
It's not a magical thing, right? It's not magical. It's like we all can learn those CPR skills, the first aid skills, putting pressure in the ice. Mm-hmm. You had just counseled someone, your sister, on a burn. Yeah. On how to manage a burn.
Not a lot of people know how to do it. You run it under cold water for 15 minutes. She didn't even know that she put ice. Ice is going to immediately bruise the skin, but you can run running water is what's going to stop the immediate. So it's like, these simple things that are simple, but they're not simple. These are things that are life-saving skills or life-saving tips. And it's like, I had took CPR like several times through my life.
But you forget.
But I took it for work and stuff, but then after that, I always loved how to swim. So when I was younger, I always take it seriously. And it's just been a skill you build upon. But these are life-saving skills, y'all. And at least one person, everyone in your family really, but at least one person immediately close to you or in your family needs to know how to do these.
And we all know how to do it. Summertime when, the kids are at the beach and at the pool, someone needs to be designated to have their eyes on the kids because, or anyone, but someone needs to be mindful because the lifeguards and stuff, they only can see a certain amount. So, and they do a great job because
the misconception about swimming is if you can stand up.
And that's not true.
I would say the misconception about swimming is if you can stand up and you can have your feet, but it's like in certain waters you can slip. The ground is moving beneath you.
And don't be tired and exhausted because you're not even thinking.
It's very dangerous. Like every time I see a person in the water and they be like they can't swim. Like, why do you want to be in the water?
You don't even want them to be.
I don't even want them to be in the water because I'm like, do you know?
You're like,
that is.
Go over there.
You're in the water. You want to swim. Because you know how hard it is for me to swim. And if I gotta save you, that's a lot. It's possible. Yeah. But it's like it's hard.
Now I gotta figure out how to
that is not drown myself, but in your ways. Like
I actually had water training, and it was hard for me to do.
But we gonna save you, but that's just like
we're gonna save you, but we gonna be exhausted. Hopefully.
My friend was telling me about how their friend didn't know how to swim or whatever, and he thought that it was a game. He was jumping off of the diving board, and he had said, "Fuck the noodle." Noodles in floating devices are not life-saving devices.
They're not. But if you know what you're doing,
you still have fun.
You can and not die.
But he did not know how to swim at all. My friend said he pushed the noodle away from him and started drowning. They all had to save him, and it's like, what did you think? That little bit of help that you were getting was saving your life, and it's not a life-saving device. So it's like, if you don't have to swim, don't be in the
I think you can be, but don't be silly. You can't swim like Michael.
Right. It's not something that comes natural like dogs. Like dogs naturally can swim in the water.
Well, everyone can doggy paddle, but you got to know how to do it.
You have to know what you're doing.
You can't be terrified.
It's called training. Right.
Yeah, you can't be terrified.
Or if you just float on your back. Yeah. Everyone can do it, but it's like you have to be like, acknowledged or trained on how to do that. But just like simple little things like that, you have to train your expectations, train those things.
And it's never too late to learn how to swim or to start anything like first aid, CPR. It's never too late to do it. And even how to, they have something at Johns Hopkins, it's like Stop the Bleed, because of so much gunshot wounds and stuff in the community. They had to teach people when they're running up on those situations, making sure it's safe.
Now, how long has it been muted?
I don't know. Hopefully not too long.
But then, that's very me. Why did it do that? But I was also going to say, even if you do know how to swim, you know,
stop
it's
she's excited.
It's
she's
helpful,
the table.
But it's not, it's life-saving. It's helpful. But even if you know how to swim, you can still hurt yourself. So just be careful. And this water, I know the rifts and the tides that they were saying.
Yeah.
Oh, there in Florida is crazy.
Well, they said don't fight the rip tides.
Yeah,
you're supposed to go out.
Yeah, it's going back, pulling you vertically out to the
ocean. Don't fight it. Just
if you're going swim back that way, you're supposed to swim
out. Yeah.
So the same way as the shore. So swim the same way as the shore, and you'll get out of it. Actually, it happened to me when I was young. It happened to all.
And Michael. Exactly. Michael, my youngest, almost got swept away.
We all know how to swim, and still it happened to us. So. But actually, it wasn't scary for me. I got out of it. And I was like, where the heck everybody got here? Be like all the way over there. I was like, hey, Michael almost went to the Gulf of Mexico.
That's how I know lifeguards are amazing. Because we were, I don't know how she saw him. She was like this. Oh, it was something out of Baywatch. She was like, not today, sir. You're not supposed to be in the water. You get on out here.
Boogie boards.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they stopped doing the boogie board attached to you.
Because it'll drag you.
Yeah, because it'll drag you. So they stopped doing it where it's attached to you. So now if you have a boogie board, you don't have it where it has a wrist thing or ankle thing on it anymore. But when we were younger, that's what they had.
I think they still have one that has that on.
They don't sell them like that at all. They don't nothing comes on the boogie board. Now if you let go of your boogie board, that's it. But the boogie boards used to drag people. I remember. But yeah. I love life. I love the beach still. No matter how many times it gets dangerous. You know? That's what's part of managing your expectations. The beach dangerous, but you still love it.
And I know you're so silly. Recently, we had a family member a family friend that had passed away. Her name is Elsie, and she was always so kind and nice to everyone. Went to a majority of our family events. And I just wanted to say rest in power to her. I'm so glad to have gotten to know her. She's been nothing but kind to me and my girls when we go out.
Rest in peace, Elsie.
Yeah, we went to
I love you, Elsie.
different cookouts.
She was my
football game,
long-term girlfriend, and I would never disrespect her. You were a great family friend.
Yes,
and you're gonna
family member.
You're a great family member and great person. I miss you. I remember you from when I was younger. We used to do crowd boils together. You were always very soft-spoken and nice, kind heart, and you never judged nobody. And you were always there for our family.
And I love that. That's her. That's someone's legacy, that they were always welcoming. I never felt like, oh yeah, you mean the weird one? No, she was not like that. Always, I would always hug her and stuff. Very gentle, kind woman.
She was cute. She always had her short cut,
her little afro, her little earrings. So when we go to the football game this year, we're gonna have to have a toast with her. She would come out there, not a lot, but we are gonna do a tribute game to her because Uncle Melvin had got new seats for her to be in the shade so she can hang out with me, which I think is pretty cool. She didn't get to enjoy it, so we're gonna make sure we do a toast for her.
But thanks for listening. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us, guys.
Yes, for the Not Vanilla podcast.
Dominique and Roxana.
Yes.
And Not Vanilla.
Yes. And so for the Not Vanilla podcast, we are here talking about everything to make your life not vanilla, not boring. So we hope you will join us again for our next episode. And we hope you have a great, safe weekend.
Bye, guys. Happy 4th. Happy Juneteenth.